Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Gemini and Sagittarius on Wednesdays. Also, the deck that I'm using today is called the Crystal Visions Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description. Also, just as a heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them. However, I only take cards that jump out like these ones have. And usually if they jump out in groups that are too big, I'll just go ahead and put them right back. And my goal is to get you guys roughly 8 cards, and we can get started on your reading. All right, Sagittarius. So just before we get started on your reading, I do want to let you guys know that in case you enjoy the reading, or if it really resonates with you, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the 9 of Wands. Now, the 9 of Wands is actually a really good card to have. Just because whenever we see it, we know that we're dealing with a lot of healing, right? And sometimes healing can be a little bit difficult, but on the flip side, healing can also be very beneficial, right? Because once you start to get those things, those patterns that we've sort of grown complacent with, once you really start to work on those and develop those, you can get a far more healthy and fulfilling life out of it, right? And I think part of what you need to do has to do with walking away from a situation. Because I see the Death in reverse, and then I see the 8 of Cups. Now, the Death card talks about changes, right? It talks about the end of a situation. It doesn't talk about physical death. That's a popular stereotype, but whenever we see the Death card in reverse, right, we know that there is an issue with accepting whatever this ending is. So I think that there's something that you're not really letting go, especially since we have the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is the card of walking away from a situation and leaving something behind. So I think that for a lot of you guys, you have sort of this combination where you're not letting go of something, even though you know that you should, right? So these energies here are very, there's a dichotomy here. So I think that part of what this is, because I don't think this is just this situation. I think it extends further. I think this is probably the biggest thing that you need to heal right now. And I think that once you work on this, you're going to see a lot of powerful energy come in, because I see the High Priestess as well as the World card here. Now, the High Priestess is one of those very powerful cards, because whenever we see it, we know that you are in a very powerful intuitive state, right? Because on the Fool's journey, the Fool goes to visit the Magician and then is promptly sent to the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is able to communicate with the Fool without even having to actually open her mouth, right? So the High Priestess is a master in communication, and in sort of extrasensory matters. So I think that right now your guys' intuition is incredibly strong. I think that you guys are really able to, I don't want to use the word predict, but are really able to work with the energy that's coming with you guys in a way that's smart and in a way that actually makes it easier for you guys to reach your goals. And it's very interesting because we have the World card, and the World card is an ending, right? It's the last card of the tarot, and it talks about sort of like summarizing and like summing up everything that the Fool has gone on his journey, right? It's the World. It encompasses everything. So I think that there's sort of this very symbolic and meaningful step right now where you guys really close off this chapter of your life where you're not really letting things go, or at least whatever this particular situation is. I think that for a lot of you guys, it might have to do with love, because I see the Lovers card. You know, a lot of us have sort of that one person that really is hard to let go of. And, you know, usually if it's not that big of a deal, it's not that big of a deal. But I think that this is kind of getting to the point where for some of you guys, it is. Alright, I apologize, Sagittarius. The video cut out. No doubt it's because I'm filming this during a Mercury retrograde. But, like I was saying, for some of you guys, this healing that needs to be done is quite possibly an ex that you've sort of held on to for longer than you probably should have, right? Like I was saying, we all have sort of that like first love kind of a feeling that's very difficult to let go of. But I think that for others of you guys, this might actually be connected to work or career or even your home life, right? Like these are all topics that are very heavy and powerful, sort of difficult to swallow sometimes. And because there's so much major arcana, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana here. Like this is a heavy topic. And, you know, I don't see anything very super strong like the Tower card. The Tower card is usually a very strong and painful kind of a change, right? It's like ripping off a band-aid. I do see, however, the Death card. So I do think that this is going to be a big change. But like I was saying earlier, you have the High Priestess. So with your intuition, you're able to work with the change. And if you work with it instead of against it, you'll be able to come out on top a lot faster and a lot quicker and a lot easier, right? And like I was saying with this Nine of Cups and with this Chariot, like this is, to me, this is very much connected to love. At least for some of you. But the Knight of Cups is an emotional knight, right? So the Nine of Cups brings forth a message of emotions. And I think that part of what this will do is allow you to really be able to express yourself in a way that maybe you haven't in the past. I think that for a lot of you guys, it's a lot more difficult to sort of express your emotions, especially if you have like an air moon or an earth moon, right? Like depending on where your astrology is at, like it can be very difficult. But I think that you guys are sort of learning to work with that right now, especially with this Chariot card. And I think that once you guys are really able to put all this healing to work for you and really start to work with the universe instead of sort of like going off on your own way and sometimes doing things, making things more difficult than they need to be, you're going to start to see this Lover's energy and the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is phenomenal energy. It's the card of victory. And then the Lovers, you know, can be very straightforward in the sense that it brings forth love. And I think that for some of you guys, you might be single and this might be like the blossoming of a new relationship. And for others of you guys, I think that you might be in an existing relationship, but this will bring forth like that passion and that love, which we all know is very important in relationships. But that's sort of the more straightforward interpretation of the Lovers. There is another aspect that sometimes doesn't get talked about as much, which is like the surmounting of obstacles. So it just has like a general connotation of success as well attached to it. So, you know, combining these two energies together, that's really powerful success and really powerful. Like I see that you guys, once you start to really do this healing, you're going to exit that sort of surviving mentality and you're going to enter your thriving energy. And I feel like once you also, I looked at the clock just now on my new timer and it started over since I've started a new recording that I'm going to tack on, but it was at 333, which I think that you guys are going to see a lot of synchronicities, and I would highly consider looking into that number. I think that it's going to be very important to you guys. Perhaps you're going to be doing things in threes or seeing threes, but either way, do know that after you like, if I'm gonna make this analogous to food, doing your healing is like eating your vegetables, and then this Lovers and the Six of Wands at the end is like your dessert. So look forward to it. But that was your reading first time around, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Sagittarius videos on Wednesdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time. I apologize for the technical difficulties.